Hey guys, it's Rafi, and today I'm playing a game against El Prohibido, rated 2251. Strong player, obviously. It looks like he's provisional still, so that's okay. Um, I am going to play a bishop here first. The idea that I'm playing for here is I'm going to play e3, bishop d3, knight e2, castle f3, eventually e4. Knight's going to go on g4. It's going to try to basically avoid playing into the main lines of these openings and try to play for a sideline and keep my f pawn open for a push down the line if needed. So now just e3, getting ready for the bishop to come out to d3. Before I play bishop d3, I'm going to capture on d5, by the way, so I don't waste the time to recapture back the pawn on c4 again. So here, maybe you'll play h6, maybe you'll play e6, maybe even e5 potentially. There's all sorts of moves. Queen b6 maybe might be a move. I've seen all types of stuff. Yeah, h6 is probably a very logical move here. I'm going to play bishop h4. If g5, bishop g3. If knight h5, it's going to continue developing normally with bishop d3. And if knight g3, hg3, and I'm going to open up, an attack towards his king side maybe. Typically, I think black will, in these kind of structures, play a little. I mean, he can play it in different ways, but a lot of times black will just play some simple stuff here, like e6, bishop d6, and castling. So now first I'm going to take here, and then I'm going to play bishop d3. Okay, he took this way. Interesting. Makes sense to open up his bishop. Now bishop d3. Yeah, so bishop d6, knight e2 is probably logical here. Okay, so if he castles, yeah, I'll castle as well. Just normal and regular piece development here. Gonna get my rooks to the C files and maybe the other one to the E file. Maybe I'll play. Oh, well, I was gonna play bishop f3, bishop or king g1, bishop f2, bishop g1 type of stuff, but He's putting lots of pressure on e3, so f3 does not seem very, very exciting to me at this point. So he gets his queen out of the danger zone. So I'm gonna play a move that I think is probably, well, I don't know. I don't know if I want to play it or commit the rook to the e file just yet, because I may want to play f4 and really solidify this structure here. But no, f4 leads to the pawn getting lost. That's not good. Okay, let's just play it more simple. Let's just play this here. I'm just really scared of this now. I'm not scared of it, but I feel like he can play that, pressure that, but I have this. Shouldn't be a problem. Should not be a problem. A move like c5 will probably come at some point, because that's how he's gonna, liberate his position. Maybe. Okay, yeah, he went just for that. Yep, he went exactly for the e3 square as I had imagined. It's okay. I did consider this, and the problem now is that there's actually two threats, which is e3 and h2. I can play bishop g3 here. If takes knight takes e3, f takes queen takes check, king here. Should be fine, I think, because he's giving up the piece for the two pawns and not really getting anything for it, I don't think. I do have to be careful for some stuff like bishop g3, let's say hg3, and then f5, followed by queen h5, threatening checkmate. But I mean, it's a lot of moves, and I feel pretty confident that I should be able to find some ways to try to get out of that and find defenses and counterattack him. There's two possible ways to take on g3, by the way. I can also take with the knight. It's definitely an option as well, because the knight has a really good home after that to heading to f5. Both moves look playable. I mean, bringing my knight into an more active position is certainly not a bad thing. So I have to think about this move for a second here. Which way to take? Let's take with the knight, because I discovered an attack on this g4 knight as well. And I can always kick it away with h3 if needed. Because he doesn't have the dark square bishop anymore, there's no threats of, like, you know, bishop takes g3 or anything like that, messing up my pawn structure. So hopefully I'll be fine. And this way I also keep my pawn structure intact in the event that an endgame were to arise. I don't have to deal with any kind of double pawns or anything like that. But I mostly did this move just for sake of activity. I'm forcing him now to do something about his knight on g4, and I'm bringing my own knight to a more active square and headed towards an even more active square like f5. So that's kind of my reasoning and rationale behind playing that. Here, I see that there's some trickery here. I can play h3 here. And if I play h3, he will take on e3. F takes, queen takes check. King h2. Protecting my knight on g3. h3, knight e3, f e3, queen e3, king h2. Queen takes d4 leads to bishop to h7 check, followed by winning the queen. And any other type of stuff can he do is the question. You know what? I feel like I'm going to call his bluff with this. Let's go ahead and see what happens if he does push for this. He pretty much has to. I don't think there's any other option, really. Has to go for this line. Yeah, I figured. So it's coming. Here, I had this move ready. A piece is a piece. He's down a piece here. He has to think about that. So my d4 pawn now is super weak, of course. Rook f3 strikes as a move that might be considered here. I'm thinking, just pushing that queen out of my space to some extent. Oh, that's pretty aggressive. Okay. I see what's going on here. If knight h5, queen h5, knight h5. If knight f5, then he just moves his queen somewhere. If rook f3, then he will just move his queen again. I almost feel like I should just follow a basic principle of trying to trade down and simplify the position, because I am currently up some material. Let's follow that principle and see what happens here with knight f5. Ooh, queen takes d4 here is annoying. I should have calculated that a little bit better. Although that's... Yeah, I think queen takes d4 works here. Yeah. Oh, he didn't do it. That is interesting. So now rook takes or bishop takes is the question. Rook takes, there is queen takes d4, I believe. So I'm going to go with the bishop takes move. And if h4, he can throw in a check, but I'm hiding on h1. And it's kind of tricky to get at me over there on h1. Maybe now would be a good time, in the next move would be a good time to play something like a queen d3 and try to trade off some queens. And just be up a pawn, hopefully. That tends to further weaken his structure here because now the f6 squares and the dark squares are going to be weak. And so maybe now might be not a bad time to actually play queen d3 here. And that would be a very active way to defend that piece. Queen d3, bishop d3. Queen d3, does he have any tricks? Doesn't seem like it. He pretty much has to back off with the queen, and if he does, then bishop g6 is a threat. Queen backs off, bishop g6, f takes, queen takes. Nah, don't think it's enough for me. But this is definitely the most active way to defend the bishop. So I'm going to play it. Obviously, if g takes f, then I'm taking this queen. So here, I can consider bishop g6, f, queen takes g6, queen g7 does not give me enough compensation. And with that being said, my bishop is trapped. Holy crap. Holy crap. Oof. How did I fall for this? Oh, I have rook queen e1 again now. Or, sorry, rook e1. Interesting stuff here. Let's see how this turns out. Now I'm really bullying that queen around. Oh gosh. Missed a check. Shoot. That's not good at all. Although, taking that bishop is kind of risky here. I mean, rook e5 he takes. I don't know. I feel like I had to play this. So now he can take that bishop. Really messed up his... I'm really going to be able to mess up his pawn structure, but is it going to be enough is the question. Say if queen takes now, he has to move his knight. Moves the knight, then he'll drop the h-pawn also. Lots of interesting possibilities here. Lots and lots. I feel like I still have lots of good chances here. He's up a pawn. Okay, so he plays that. Do I have any quick ways to finish the game now is the question. Or should I keep gobbling pawns? Let's go ahead and grab this pawn so we're materially equal. And he just has a really crummy position now. He wants to trade off the queens because his position sucks. Not that easily, son. I need to find the most active square for my queen. Can I play queen e5 here? If he plays rook, can I just take the two rooks? Probably, that'll be fine, right? Not sure in this position if the queen... I feel like I need my queen. I don't want to trade them. But he's going to play rook e8 anyway. What about here? Queen here. There's queen here. Queen h4, queen g5 is there. Queen e5 looks interesting. But I'm just not convinced that I can use the two rooks properly in this kind of position. Okay, let's try to avoid trading queens if possible. It's one of my main goals. I don't want to trade anything. Takes rook f3. He checks. King h2. You can also just play rook f3 here, and if he takes check, queen takes. Rook f3 takes. You know what? I'm just going to play the aggressive move right here. Because this way I am keeping his rook on f8 instead of rook on e8. I always think about how to play the most active moves possible. So now my threat is rook e8, rook g3, rook e1, king h2, and his queen is still pinned. Okay, so I'll just take the rook, and then I'm threatening still rook g3 now. So I'm assuming king h8 maybe will be played. At which point I might just play rook g3 anyway to get my rook on a good square. Oh, he wants to trade again. Check, king here. I better get my queen here first. I'm still threatening the check now. Gotta get this knight involved somehow. If I can get this knight in here in some cool fashion or form, then I would be okay here. Once my king is on h2, it'll be a little tricky for him to really attack this guy. Check, king h8. Turning that check. That's the thing. Do I have any other checks? Queen g4, queen g3. G3 check. Okay, so queen here. Check here. Let's play this one and improve the queen a little bit. Of course, I'm allowing a check on e1, but after king h2, I just feel like he doesn't have any more checks. He has to go after my d pawn at that point. But he can't because f7 would be hanging in that position. I think I'll play here now. What does he have? Oh, that move. Interesting. So rook check. Okay, now can I get my knight involved in here somehow? If knight e2 he takes, then I can play here check. King there. And I don't have any other checks. If check. Got to get this knight in the game. Got to get it in the game. Oof, there's a check here now. Oh gosh. But I'll block that with a check of my own. If queen here check, rook here check. That's the cool part. So now any kind of checks, let's look at those first. Any kind of checks, he'll play knight g6. That's the thing. So I better get my knight into the game. Hopefully this will be a winning idea of knight g4, knight e5, something like that, knight f6. I mean, all types of knight moves are possible here. I feel like. Maybe he'll play queen g6, but then there's rook here. Pins the queen and wins the queen. Now would be the best time to probably play this. If check, rook still here is a great move. Now he has some defenses, that's for sure. Definitely has some defenses. Queen h6 is a move that I'm going to consider next, actually. Because after queen h6, I mean, I'm taking away all his flight squares, so knight f6 is a pretty serious threat at this point. At that point, I feel like. Do I want to play this? Sure. Don't have much of a choice. This is a really strange position, that's for sure. Get my knight to a better square here. Really interesting things going on here. I'll just drive the h-pawn up now as my threat. And if f6, then I can take on g6 anytime. It's kind of a cool move. I have to remember that my knight on e5 is pinned, though. That's the main thing here. See, now my king has some maneuvering, you know, like now my king can go to h3 and stuff. So the rook isn't pinned anymore. Another idea here. If here, then here. Let's go ahead and do it. Get the check in there. Oh. Check here. I'm not sure if he saw this, that this forks this. He might have missed this idea. He flagged. Well played. For sure, well played. Let's look at it. Let us look at this. Let the computer analyze this whole thing real quick, and then we will... Oh, looks like computer analysis was fast. Okay, so well, clearly I made lots of mistakes in this game. But you know, I mean, overall, I think we still came out on top. Let's see where the mistakes were and how we could have capitalized better. So d5, this is Queen's Gambit. Excuse me, Queen's Gambit. Slav Defense. Knight c3, knight f6. Now I played bishop to g5, knight bd7, e3, h6, bishop h4, e6. I took the pawn on d5 before playing bishop d3. Then bishop d3. What does the computer say here? Bishop d3, c takes d5, just about the same. Okay. 2 is what I played. Castle, castle, queen e8. And I just developed my rook to a more active square with rook c1. What was the computer suggesting? Knight g3 followed by knight f5, I guess, was an idea. Well, we tried that eventually. Rook c1, knight g4. And here I just called his bluff and I said, you know what? You don't have enough. So I just played normal looking moves here. Bishop g3. Although computer suggests I could have played h3 here as well. So yeah, knight takes g3 definitely was the right way to play this. So I'm glad we played the correct idea here. Knight f6, so yeah, here's where he trapped his own piece. Ooh, I missed a sacrifice here. Rook takes f6 is computer finding. Interesting. Rook f6, gf6, knight h5. Oh. Yeah, that would have been great. That does look pretty appetizing. The way I was looking at the position is, I mean, I'm up a piece for a couple of pawns. It's a quick game. If it was a long game, I probably would have calculated rook takes f6 much more deeply. I did definitely calculate rook takes f6, but not as super deep. And I thought, just play good moves and win that way. But obviously, rook takes f6 here is just completely killing. Just wins on the spot. Looks like because you're blasting open the kingside structure. You're getting another pawn on h5 as well. You're getting a knight and a pawn for the rook. And f6 pawn is super weak. Kingside is completely open. Queen is ready to pounce in. And it's just, I mean, looks pretty bad, yeah. And instead I played this. So I was just thinking about the position, and yeah, I'm just realizing this is still better for white for sure, but just not as clean as rook takes f6 probably would have been. Here. So he plays g6 here. I didn't really like this move too much either. I felt like it just, I don't know, kind of weakens that king side further, but maybe it's fine. Oh, computer finds some, it's a crazy move here, bishop c8. I didn't even consider that move. So he wants to give up the computer, Mush wants to give up the bishop and win the f6 knight. That is quite interesting. So I played queen d3, and here apparently I could have been in a lot of trouble because he could have played queen h6. And I really have no compensation because bishop g6 there, I wouldn't even get a pawn. Instead he plays this. Oh, so I had another way to save the bishop here. Queen g3, pinning the g-pawn. But I played this. Check. King here. And the computer, okay, so it does suggest taking the bishop. Queen takes, knight here. I was being greedy and just trying to open. Mainly it was because I wanted to open up lines. It wasn't just so much greed. I wanted the h file to be open, so I took that pawn as well. Then queen g6. He wants to obviously trade queens because he is, kingside is super messed up. So then, yeah, I didn't want to trade queens. And here, computer actually does recommend playing this idea. But I didn't like this because I thought that he can, I mean, this sort of idea here of the two rooks, I don't know, I just feel like it favors black because his queen is so active and getting at these pawns and things like that. It would be really hard to coordinate these three pieces in this kind of position, basically. And I think I played the right idea by not doing that and being so uncoordinated. Look at all this activity and counterplay he can get with this. So yeah, I think even the computer suggests this move. I don't like it. I think I played the right idea here from a human perspective by playing this and just maintaining a pressure. Really, if you look at the, I mean, there's literally no difference between this move and that move. And this move puts a lot more pressure, keeps a lot more pressure on black than does this one, or he can trade everything off. Yeah. So anyway, here I've tried to continue playing active moves as much as I could. Oh, rook e7 is interesting. And so I should have actually played, yeah, rook f4 would have been a little bit more active. I don't know why I played rook f3 here. But anyway, rook f3. Oh, now my move is the top choice one. I guess either is fine. So of course I did not trade here. Played queen h back to h4 to continue to put pressure on him. Rook here. What did I do? Queen to there. What was my threat with the queen move? Why did I play queen there? Oh, to keep pressure on f7. That's what it was. Pressuring f7. He checked. King h2. Went back. Just gave me a tempo to get my knight into the game as well, which is exactly what happened. Ooh, h4. Interesting. Why h4 and not getting my knight involved? Then knight f2. Okay. G6. Why is this such a mistake? I don't understand. Knight e3 is that much better. Why? The reason I didn't play knight e3 is because I wanted to keep my rook active and have the ability to move the rook other places if needed. And if knight f3, then if knight e3 instead, then my my rook is tied down to protecting e3. So I thought that knight f2, knight g4 would be the idea. So that's why I played this. Queen d6, rook g3, knight g6, queen g5. It's kind of what happened in the game, somewhat. Check. And here I played rook g3, but apparently king g1 was much better. Because after rook e1 check, I guess king f2 is really hard for him to stop. Yeah, after that, he's probably in a lot of trouble. Play this instead. Boom. Knight here. King. I played queen to g5, gave me pressure on the king. Yeah, I don't know why he didn't move his king out of the... I thought many times he would play something like king f8, but he just kept keeping his king over there pinned for some reason. Played that move. I was surprised. Finally moves his king. By then I've already gotten lots of tempos in. And he takes that, which is losing. Because now he's pinned and there's no way he's protecting. I mean, he's losing another piece. So yeah, that's the game. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I think it was really fun. I enjoyed playing this one. Obviously lots of mistakes from both sides, but glad that we came out on top because we played the more active moves near the end. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys again, and I'll catch you next time.